All right, if you're hitting that B2 level in Spanish, you've probably hit a wall with the subjunctive, especially after a word like cuando. Let's be honest, it can be trippy. But getting this one concept down is, I promise, a total game changer for sounding more natural. So today, we're going to crack this code for good.
Okay, so first things first, we're going to dive right in and tackle a mistake that pretty much every single English speaker makes at some point. It makes perfect sense in English, which, of course, is exactly why it trips us up in Spanish. But hang tight because the Spanish logic behind this is actually way, way simpler than you'd think. So, take a look at this sentence. Cuando llegaré a casa, te llamaré. Now, if you translate that literally, you get, when I will arrive home, I will call you. Sounds perfectly fine in English, right? So why is this a classic textbook mistake in Spanish? And here is the fix. Instead of that future tense, llegaré, you need the present subjunctive, llegue. And this right here reveals our first huge rule. In Spanish, you just don't use the future tense right after cuando when you're talking about something, well, in the future. Now, that's the what, but the why is where it all starts to click. So, why? Why this rule? Well, the great news is that it isn't just some random piece of grammar you have to burn into your brain. Nope, there's a really clean, really simple logic behind it. So let's actually dig into that why. The whole secret is this concept that grammarians call no declaración, or non-declaration. I know, it sounds super technical, but it really just boils down to one simple question. Are you declaring something as a known fact, like a habit or something that's already happened? Or are you just talking about a plan, something that hasn't happened yet and isn't a fact?
You know what? Let's make that even easier. Just forget the technical term. All you need to burn into your memory is this simple idea: facts versus plans. Is it a known fact, or is it just a future plan? Seriously, if you can answer that one question, you've got the key to getting this right pretty much every single time. All right, so how do we take this fact versus plan idea and turn it into a golden rule that we can actually use in a real conversation? Let's break it down, nice and simple. Let's start with the easy one. Facts. When you use cuando to talk about things that always happen or things that used to happen, you're just talking about routines and experiences you already know. These are declared facts. And for these, you just use the normal, everyday indicative mood. No subjunctive needed. Check out this perfect example. Cuando llego a la oficina, siempre tomo un café. When I arrive at the office, I always have a coffee. Is this a future plan? No way. It's a habit. It's a fact of my life. I'm declaring it as a routine, and that's why we use the simple present indicative, llego. But what if the action hasn't actually happened yet? What if you're talking about a single event that's still off in the future? Well, then it's not a fact, is it? It's just a plan. It hasn't been declared. And that feeling of uncertainty about the future is what triggers the subjunctive. So that sentence becomes, Cuando llegue a la oficina, te llamaré. When I arrive at the office, I will call you. The arriving part, it hasn't happened yet. It's a future plan. And because it's a future plan, not a fact, we have to use the present subjunctive, llegue. See the difference? One is a fact, the other's a plan. Simple as that. Let's put this all into one simple table. Look, if your trigger is a habit or a past event, a known fact, you use the indicative. Cuando llegaba, siempre llamaba. But if it's a future plan, a pending action, you use the subjunctive. Cuando llegues, llámame. See? It really all just comes down to where it is on the timeline. And you know what the best part is? This isn't just some weird random rule that only works for cuando. This exact same logic, it applies to a whole bunch of other super useful words. So let's expand that toolkit of yours. So words like en cuanto, tan pronto como, hasta que, they all play by the exact same rules. If they're introducing something that's still in the future, a plan, boom, you use the subjunctive. If they're talking about a habit or something that already happened, you just stick with the good old indicative. Take a look at this one. En cuanto termines, avísame. As soon as you finish, let me know. So let me ask you, has the person finished yet? Nope. It's a future action that's still pending. And because of that, we need the subjunctive, termines. See? It's such a consistent, beautiful system once you see it. Okay, let's start to wrap this up. I want to give you a super simple mental checklist you can use in any conversation. And then we'll finish off with a quick little challenge to put your new skills to the test right now. So here it is, your 3-step mental check. Step 1, just spot the trigger word. Is it cuando? En cuanto? Step 2, check the timeline. Ask yourself, is this a fact or a plan? And step 3, select your mood. And if it's a future plan, it's always going to be the subjunctive. I promise this will become second nature in no time.
So let's end with one final little challenge for you. Your turn. You've got the sentence, en cuanto, and the verb terminar, es de explicar, practicaré. So think about the action of finishing this explainer. Is that a known fact that has already happened? Or is it a future plan? It's a future plan, right? So the correct form has to be the subjunctive. Termines. En cuanto termines es de explicar, practicaré. You totally got this. Now go out there and practice.